everyone. Welcome back to DreTalksHoops 2, episode 2. And it's March, which, if you're a basketball fan, you know this is the best month on the year. It's March Madness, postseason, upsets galore, anything can happen. So, what's happened so far now, the Power 4 conferences has finished their tournament championships, and Selection Sunday will be March 16th. Yeah, March 16th for men's and women's college basketball, because there's still some championships going on this week. But for the most part, most of them have punched their ticket to the big dance. So we'll start off with the ACCC. And the Duke women girls ended up upsetting everyone and winning the whole tournament. I'm pretty sure most people were expecting either to be Notre Dame, NC State in the championship game, but Duke, they were on a revenge tour, and they had to beat everyone they lost to in the regular season. So once they did that, they claimed the crown. And this is the first one since 2013, their first final since 2017. So what Coach Lawson has done within 5 years of that program is amazing. From where they were when she started and to now, they're on top. So pretty impressive. And initially, me at first, I thought Duke. I think people sleep on them a lot just because, of course, Duke with their defense. But what's also with their offense, it can be kind of stagnant up and down. But if the offense is clicking and then the defense is going to show up every time, I mean they can win some games. They can maybe make some noise in the tournament. Like back in November, my high take was Duke was going to win the ACC tournament. That's after I saw them play Oklahoma and Kansas State on neutral courts out in Vegas. I could tell, like, if someone plays them on a neutral court in the postseason, they're gonna be in some trouble. And I like the way they play. And of course, I know it takes champions to win on the road as well. But like, if you can win on a neutral court, and anything to equal the ultimate neutralizer, I think they can really make some noise like they did the ACC tournament. So I wasn't really surprised that they won, but I think hopefully that ups their chances maybe to get a 2 seed, maybe, but they had a couple losses on the seasons, that might hurt them, but we'll see what happens on Selection Sunday. And I was there for the ACC tournament for the quarterfinals through the finals because Duke may end up winning, but it was nice to see like the other teams ACC play. Saw Notre Dame for the first time play this season and was able to catch Louisville again, catch UNC again. I saw NC State play for the first time this season as well. And yeah, it's all around good basketball. Really good crowds came out. It really, I love when I think of ACC basketball for the women. I think Greensboro Coliseum. So I think the Coliseum always does a great job of hosting. And I had a great time. They had like a fan fest where they have like you can take pictures with the jerseys, like your favorite team's jersey. They had like a basketball skill contest, 3-point contest, free throw contest, like merchandise for the fans. It was really nicely set up. It was every day before the first game, so that was really nice. So yeah, overall I enjoyed the ACC tournament. Of course, Duke ended up getting the win, so that always makes it a little bit better flu. But overall, great to see all those great teams in the conference as well in the ACC to come out and play too and compete. And on to the Big Ten, we have UCLA. They ended up winning. They finally were able to beat USC third time's the charms. So they got the automatic bid, and now this might boost them up maybe to overall #1 seed since they did beat South Carolina earlier this season. I know South Carolina's a lot different from when they played, and they have more, quad one ranked wins. But I think just because UCLA beat them, they might get the #1 overall seed. But we'll see what happens on Sunday, on March 16th. And then the Big 12, we have TCU. TCU beat Baylor in the final, but TCU did a steady team all season long. You know, when they had the upset win against Notre Dame earlier this year, they've been just rolling in the Big 12. So no surprise there. Haley Van List's been going off, and so Devin the Prince, he's been playing well as too for them. So I'm interested to see how well they can go this tournament too. They're projected as a two seed as well. In the SEC, we have South Carolina end up beating Texas. You know, everybody was talking about the coin flip for the number one seed in the tournament, but you know it really didn't matter because either way they both ended up clashing for the championship. And then South Carolina hated them pretty well, so I know with this win, I think Texas was still projected as number one seed, but South Carolina is making their case more that they might get their number one overall seed. I guess we'll see how the committee compares the wins and losses compared to UCLA. And LSU, they were limping there in the tournament. They didn't have Flau'jae Johnson towards the end of the regular season too, so they've lost. In the past couple of weeks, they lost two. They dropped two, so they were considered a two seed. They might drop down to a three seed. I think Duke might be able to squeeze a two seed. NC State might stay on that line. Notre Dame is teetering. They've lost their last 3 of 5, but maybe they'll have enough. The committee might consider their overall season that they may stay a two seed. But NC State could also get the two seed too as well, and then they beat Notre Dame in the regular season. So we'll see what happens with there. And out in the Big East, we have UConn winning the championship, regular and tournament champions. You know, they've been just steamrolling the competition in the Big East. So no big surprise there that UConn won that and got the automatic bid. And they're predicted at the 2 seed. I think it's because of who they played this year. I mean, it can't really stack up against the other teams. I mean, of course, they got the big win at South Carolina. So, but other than that, they lost to Tennessee at Tennessee, lost to Notre Dame at Notre Dame. So, we'll see. I feel like they might just stay at that 2 line, but I mean, I know they'll have consideration for a 1 seed, but I see them staying on that 2 line. And other non-power forward conference tournaments also finished as well. In the A10, we have George Mason, Summit League, South Dakota State. And South Dakota State, they're really good. Duke played them earlier in the season. They only beat them maybe by under 10 at South Dakota. So they're really a good team at home and a really good team overall. And they beat Oregon. So I can see them making a little noise in the NCAA tournament. I like South Dakota State, well coached, vets. So yeah, I think they can make a little noise. And out in the Southern Conference, we got UNC and Greensboro. They've been having a really great season as well. Ohio Valley, Tennessee Tech, and Sun Belt, we have Arkansas State. But there's still some conference championships to be decided throughout the week. So once we get through that, we can get Selection Sunday, and we'll go from there. And I already kind of alluded to about what the Charlie Cream has been I guess projecting the number one seed sounds more so we can kind of know more since the Power Four conferences have finished their tournament championships. So of course at the 1 seed, the overall will be I feel like either UCLA or South Carolina, Texas and USC will round out. Maybe UConn, but I don't really see them getting that number 1 seed. In the 2 seed. They have UConn, Notre Dame, TCU, and NC State. But I think this might change. I feel like Duke might be able to get a 2 seed out of Notre Dame and NC State because they were able to beat them in the tournament. But we shall see. I know they had that loss to USF in December. And of course, we had the 4 losses in the ACC. But I mean, those are all tournament teams, and they end up beating them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think they might be a 2 seed, but definitely a host. And for the 3 seeds, they have Duke, Oklahoma, LSU, and Kentucky. LSU, they're still staying at that 3 seed. I could see them maybe dropping to a 4. but I think they'll stay firmly SOU based in have a chance to host. Kentucky, they've been having a really good season. Georgia Amores transferred out there from Tech, and then Kenny Brooks came from Tech as well as the coach. So they're having a pretty good season. I mean, I can't complain with them being the 3 seed. Nothing wrong with that. And of course, when they've had help as well from other like schools losing. Tennessee, when they lost on senior night to Georgia, that didn't really help. And then they were early exit in the SEC tournament, so kind of like they lost their chances to host. But still, they're going to be a dangerous team though. So I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Tennessee. I felt they're going to be more even motivated and focused with how like their season ended the last week or two. So be on the lookout for them. And for the 4 seeds to round out, UNC, Ohio State, Baylor, Ole Miss. Ole Miss, because they got the win at LSU and they're pretty good. And at the SEC tournament, they got where they needed to go to be able to still be able to host. And then of course, with other teams kind of like helping in their favor. So Ole Miss, another pretty good defensive team. I think they're a sleeper, just like how Duke is. So, I mean, just watch out for them too as well. They'll try to keep it kind of ugly, but keep it close. And then, they're going to make you play the way they want to play. So, I wouldn't sleep on Ole Miss. Baylor, they've been playing really, really well too. It's been hard to get over the hump with TCU. But I see Baylor still be going maybe at least pretty far. Maybe make it to the second weekend, because they're able to host. So, that's always good for them too as well. So, I do like Baylor. Ohio State. Ohio State is pretty good. Cody McCannon, and then they have the freshmen like Cambridge. They've been up and down, but I feel like they're gonna be, motivated, focused to be able to get out of the first weekend. Because last year we all know Duke upset them on their home court last year, so their chance, an opportunity to host. I think they'll be able to make it out. That's a little extra motivation too as well. And Maryland was on this four line seed, but with I think the loss in their tournament in the Big Ten tournament with the early exit, that kind of didn't help their chances either. But I mean, I could see maybe because they did beat Ohio State in the regular season, but I think right now these are kind of like set. Maryland, I mean, maybe they might be able to go back up there, but I feel like the top 16 right now is good set right now. And UNC has been playing pretty well since like the regular season where they had that loss at Duke, and of course lost on senior day to UVA. But granted, they didn't have Renee Kelly or Alyssa Utsby. But I know they're not going to make that excuse. So they came back for the ACC tournament. They won. They beat Boston College, and then Florida State got their revenge back from Florida State beating them on that layup buzzer beater by Tanaya Latson. So, I mean, they did get a couple wins out of the ACC tournament, at least to help them maintain and be able to host the first weekend. So we'll see what UNC can do. I know they had that hard loss in the semis to NC State, but I think they'll be able to bounce back as well too. They can still be a dangerous team going into the NCAA tournament as well. And now they'll be able to be fully healthy because they have Utsby and Renee Kelly back there PG. So I'm interested to see what they might be able to do too. And I think it's pretty, amazing, incredible, like in a triangle, that both Duke, NC State, UNC will be the host. We'll be the host for the first round. So if you live in the triangle, Canary Triangle, there's gonna be a lot of great basketball going on next weekend. So I mean, pick who you want to go to. So it's gonna be some great basketball. I can't wait. So I'm interested to see what the committee will do and who they will have as the top 16 overall seeds. But that's the projection, and I put my own little projection as well, and my opinions on maybe where they might flip flop but we'll see. And I think who might be able to make the biggest noise in the tournament. But the good thing about the women's tournament now, there's so much parity. Like you might not even know who would win. Like if you ask me right now, I have no idea who might win. It's just like anybody can win on any given time, and like you never know who might upset who. So we'll see. I mean, I feel like, of course, I think maybe Duke might surprise some people, but because I feel like people are kind of sleeping on them because they're think that's okay. We know their defense, but can their offense be consistent as well? But I think with their defense, of course, they got down by 14 to NC State, but their defense let them keep them in it. And then, of course, the offense was just clicking and firing all series that second half to tell two tape or tell two halves. So I think Duke, if they can be able to be steady offense, and Ashton Jackson's been playing crazy, Alicia Conlon MVP off the bench from going off out of her mind. Reagan Richardson, if she can be a consistent offensive threat, at least like maybe 10 points per game, or even like have like another outing like she did last year, which was averaging over 20 plus them first two games. I mean, Duke can be very dangerous going in. They have all the momentum in the world now going in. They just won the ACC championship. You had to knock off two top 10 teams at that moment that were, in your way to get the ACC champion. So, I mean, I feel like the sky really is the limit. I mean, they have like all the confidence think they can beat probably anybody in the nation. So, and if you've already played them twice, I mean, you already played them once, look out. Because, they've learned from their first, the first matchup with whoever they play. So I'm interested to see if they do play maybe like a South Carolina again. What might the matchup might look like, or will it be a little different? So we'll see. And I feel like, speaking of South Carolina, they have a lot of momentum too as well going into the tournament, and they're confident going in as well. I mean, they beat Texas. They were number one at the time. I mean, pretty beating Hamlet in the SEC tournament. So I mean, they have all like the confidence in the world going into the NCAA tournament because they got that chip. They won the repeat as well. And TCU, I mean, they're rolling in as well too. I feel like they're gonna be pretty confident. So I feel like those are my top three teams that have like all the momentum going into the tournament. They won. They have all the confidence. So I'm interested to see what all those teams do and how they keep it rolling into the tournament. And on the other side, Notre Dame, they started off the season strong, 19 straight, beating Texas, beating UConn, beating Southern Cal. So it's just like, once like towards the end of the conference play, they lost, the last 3 out of 5, to Duke, Florida State, and NC State. So I mean, I know they're probably going to, go back to work this week, look at the film, just kind of just stay them and learn and like get back to like what helped them get that 19 win streak and like how they were so dominant, how they're number one team. So I know they're going to come in to the NCAA tournament with a chip on their shoulders, to show that they're still here and they're still the team to beat. So I'm interested to see how Notre Dame's going to bounce back after the tournament and after like that last week or two of the regular season and how they'll bounce back. I know Sonia Cintron, she's going to step up. Olivia Miles is going to step on. Maddie Westfield, she needs to step up as well to help her get off the load off of Hannah a little bit. So Hannah's been playing great, but it's just like, her others and the help that need to help and step up too as well. And also, LSU, they're coming in to the NCAA tournament a little banged up, but they'll have Flage back. She missed the SEC and made the last week of the regular season. So I know they'll be grateful to have her back. I mean, LSU looks completely different without her. Of course, they still got Michaela Williams and, Anissa Mara down there in the post and the block, but I feel like Flage, she makes that team run, so it's like a wholly completely different team without her on the court. So, I mean, I expect them to be able to have to bounce back, too. And, the teams they've been losing to, of course, I feel like, they probably thought they should have beat. But, I think LSU can still be a top team, even though they haven't really played, too much competition out of the non-conference. But, of course, they have, all the practice. We're playing the SEC, and the SEC is a gauntlet. So, I know they'll be ready to go. And hopefully they'll have a bounce back as well. And be able to go far in the tournament. So be on the lookout. Sunday, March 16th, Selection Sunday. So we'll see where all these teams will be going, and then we're gonna be able to get March Madness on the roll. So switching from college to the pros, Rival just finished their inaugural regular season. I mean, if you haven't been watching, you should be watching. Like, it's amazing. A bunch of your WNBA players are out there. I mean, getting ready, instead of like having to go overseas, we can just watch them play down in Miami over the winter. And then, of course, WNBA will be back in a couple months, so we don't have to wait too long to see them again. So, Rival playoffs, they start Sunday, March 16th, 7:30, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And the top four seeds are Lunar Owls at number 1, Rose at number, well, excuse me, 3. I mean, excuse me, 2, Laces at number 3, and the Vinyl Basketball Club at 4. So we'll have the 1 versus 4 matchup, which will be the Lunar Owls and the Vinyl. And then the 2-3 matchup, which is Rose and Laces. I mean, Owls, they've been like dominating this whole season. They've only got 1 loss. I mean, you would have thought they've been playing together for years, like the way that team is constructed. It's really, really well coached, really well balanced. They all play for each other, of course, led by Nafisa Collier, and Skylar Diggins-Smith's been going crazy too as well. I mean, you got Courtney Williams, Alicia Gray, like so many weapons on that team. I don't know really who could maybe be able to stop them, but I mean, I can see the Rose have been playing really great lately. They like finished the regular season off on a strong high note, and Rose were the only team to beat them. So I feel like if anybody really can give like the Lunar Owls, any anything to throw them off, I think it'll be the Rose, because the Rose, they have that confidence because they know, oh, we have beat them, so it's like not like we can't. So I feel like the Rose will be like kind of like the best maybe to go up with them. But Vinyl, I like the Vinyl as well too. Don't sleep on them. They got Ryan Howard, Arika Ogunbowale, Dearica Hamby. So I mean, they're pretty strong too. So I wouldn't just discredit them. The Rose have to get past the Vinyl first as well. And then the Laces, I mean, they've been struggling with like their low health throughout the season, but they still were able to make it. They started off the season pretty strong, and then kind of had a little dip, but then we're back at it. Laces are gone. They got Kay McBride, Alyssa Thomas, Jackie Young. So I mean, Stephanie Dolson. So I think Laces could be make a little good push too as well. So this 2-3 matchup will be very interesting. The Rose and Laces to really see. But yeah, Unrivaled, I mean, I think it's been amazing what they've been able to do for like the women. I mean, shout out to Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier for like putting it all together, and then all the investors they have coming into it as well. I mean, I can't wait to see it, like, as they progress. And I feel like this might be a mainstay. So, I mean, they've had a good really reaction out. The fans love it. And then it's easy, it's accessible. That's what I love too. Even if you can't really get down to Miami, you can still be able to watch the games, TNT, HBO Max on the streaming service. So I mean, kudos. I can't wait to see what happens. And then, of course, it's a good like leeway to like the WBA. Get a couple months off and get ready, for the wrap up for the WBA season. So that's going to be interesting too as well. I can't wait for that to come. I mean, spring's almost here, it's March Madness. Usually it's basically now we have like basketball all season long. I mean, you can't beat that. That's great. So that's all I really have for this week. I mean, this episode. I wanted to just kind of delve into March Madness, the seeding. Wrap up what kind of like get an overview of all the conference championships that have been like won so far with automatic bids, and where other teams that will get just automatic qualifiers and where they might fall into. So we'll see what happens on March 16th where everyone will land, and then when we do, we'll go from there and then break down the seeding, the regionals, and how far these teams can go. Because, it's March Madness, anything can happen. So, we'll catch you again next time. And, always, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, follow my Instagram. And, have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon.